Hello, welcome to Ellis Michael podcast. What happened? What happened? Brittany, we have a problem. Why did everyone speak over me? Sorry. But anyway, today we will go over several topics regarding a cryptocurrency, some Bible verses, about politics, about the riots and the looting, and essential oils, and hopefully we can branch off into medicine. So let's start off by saying that, let's start off with this. When you focus on the law enforcement, it isn't systemic racism. It has more to do with Knights Templar discriminating against those below the poverty line. The reason it looks like systemic racism is because because the majority of people living in the projects are African American. George Floyd was killed by police not because of his skin tone, but because he was in poverty. Systemic racism doesn't add up, because if the U.S. government was truly racist, there wouldn't be African American people taking up positions in our government. Systemic racism also doesn't make sense because law enforcement has been recorded to commit police brutality on various races across the U.S. So what are we fighting? We're fighting a system which oppresses those below the poverty line. Okay, Joe, let's hear your side of the story.
George Floyd was on drugs. That's plain and simple. These brothers
How do we know that?
it took advantage of it. It's defunding the police movement. It's ridiculous, and that's why right now in Portland, New York, Seattle, and even Chicago, there's a lot of riots and looting that is going on right now. And plus, yes, George Floyd's death was tragic, we get it, but trying to use someone's a criminal's death, it's and trying to ride it a loot over someone's death, it's downright ridiculous. And
So it's ridiculous that the cop put in.
no, there's evidence. And but to use a fake dollar bill and in its store. And I'm telling Americans, this is the truth.
No.
It's another thing, Americans, this is the truth. We don't need to defund the police. And these mayors, governors, these politicians that want to defund the police, that they don't understand that they pick the wrong side. The police are the good guys, and we need law and order. We don't. Without the police, there's going to be lawlessness. But when the lawlessness in this country will make it go through a great depression, because the crime rates will go up, and nobody cannot afford the money to pay their bills and taxes, because defunding the police and having these high taxes, it's going to destroy America. And to my Americans, right, the only thing I ask of you is to pray for America, and pray that there will be peace and unity and love, and I pray that these riots and looters will stop, uh, and these politicians that wants to defund the police, they can turn to God. That's all I want.
Well, the thing about the police is we shouldn't be defunding the police. We need evidence. We can't defund the police, but what we can do is we can get rid of it. We can prosecute we can prosecute crooked cops within our police force. We can get them. We can get them. Like, I'm not saying that the entire police force is crooked. There's only like a small portion of the police that has a crooked bunch of cops. So those crooked cops should face justice. It shouldn't be the whole entire police force should not be punished just because of the actions of a few.
And what about the riots and looters? Do they deserve to be punished for all the damage they have
Yes,
caused?
they deserve. I need to shut up.
The thing is about the rioters and looters, we can try to prosecute them all, but honestly, I think it's like a dog chasing its own tail, because a lot of these rioters and looters will have hoods up, and they obviously can't be tracked. I mean, if the U.S. gets this, in quotes, justice put on the U.S., and I'm pretty sure they'll stop. But then that comes to the question, well, how do you know, how do we know what they want, is the question. Because I was hearing from newscasts that when you go into when you try to even alter a tiny detail of Black Lives Matter, like, and try to like talk about what is truly going on, they'd be like, well, you racist bigot. That's how they'll respond to every single person who tries to tell the truth.
Well, it is stupid. It's not all people are racist. Trying to call someone a racist, it's for telling the truth. That's dumb. And I'm saying this right now. It's dumb to call someone a racist when they're trying to speak out something that is true. No, instead of being judgmental, just listen to the person's and point of view first. Instead, and taking it offensively, and and I want to say this: it's that Americans that that thinks that everyone is racist for speaking the truth. You're completely wrong. You are absolutely wrong, because there's differences between being a racist and a non-racist. And not it said that all white people are racist. That's not true. Some white people are not racist. We believe in that God. We believe that everyone is it's equal. To African American, Hispanics, Asians, white, racial, and Cajuns. But with Black Lives Matter, the goal is it's to kill whites. But here's a question.
That's not true.
Here's a question. What did those whites do to deserve this this emanation in our society? And that's why when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said his dream speech in the 60s, he says he dreamed that in America that Caucasians and African Americans can live in peace. And well, of its dream speech that ended the conflict between both races. It is, but now we need to go through this conflict again, and it's Caucasians are the victims.
Well, I wouldn't say that Black Lives Matter is like racist towards white people. I mean, yeah,
Because they're not.
I was hearing that, I was hearing from one of my friends that all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. Well, that don't make any sense. Like all lives matter, but when it comes to Black Lives Matter, you're like, yeah, we see videos of them tearing down monuments, like that doesn't even make any sense. Like that's just senseless because U.S. history is what is the very thing that we found our creed and our values on in the U.S. That's how we found our culture. Why do we need to destroy culture? Well, it doesn't make any sense. Like it's just senseless. It's just senseless bigotry. But I would not say that Black Lives Matter is trying to kill whites. No, this is what they're trying to do. Some of the leaders that a lot of the people that move up the ranks, they're not trying to kill whites. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make our country into a communist country.
Marxist.
Exactly. They're not trying to kill whites. They don't care. I mean, yeah, they don't care about whites as much as they do blacks. I mean, they don't even care about blacks, as a matter of fact. But no, they're not trying to kill us off. No, that's not true. There's a lot of people in Black Lives Matter that are just trying to help the fellow African American. But then there's other people in Black Lives Matter that are trying to push a Marxist agenda. So nowhere did I hear anywhere that they're trying to kill whites. But I do know that, but yes, I'm part of Black Lives Matter, but instead of being a left-wing Democrat communist, I'm not part of any of that. All I care about is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get in my view, I'm trying to get police brutality to come to an end on all races. That's why when I go to Black Lives Matter marches, I speak into the megaphone that we're trying to get certain people in law enforcement prosecuted and convicted for their crimes against people. No, and it's not systemic racism. It's because it doesn't add up. Because when George Floyd had the knee on his neck, it wasn't all white people that did it. There was a Chinese person, 2 Hispanics, and 2 blacks. So really what we're trying to fight against is the police force, not all but some. There are some crooked cops that discriminate against those that fall below the poverty line. So we're trying to get those. So in the contrary, we want to start a protest group, a genuine protest group called Poverty Lives Matter. That's what in fact, if somebody, hold on, it says connection's unstable. But anyway, we're trying to push an agenda where the police follow due process when making arrests. And in my opinion, the law should say if somebody gets choked out during an arrest, or if somebody gets beaten, and if the police do some sort of police brutality, as soon as they get to court, they should have, if it's a felonious charge, their sentence should be greatly reduced and they should be compensated. But I mean, I don't agree with setting a a felon free. No, all I want is for people to wake up and see that, hey, if the police does something, if the police does not follow due process when making an arrest, the person being arrested, when they go to court, they should automatically have their sentence in prison be greatly reduced, no matter what crime. However, if it's a misdemeanor, they should just be let off the hook altogether. That's just my personal opinion, and if that happens, that could possibly help in the fight against police brutality, and the fact where people can file a civil case and they can sue law enforcement and get the upper hand and say, hey, like take for example, like let's say that I shoplifted a candy bar, for example. They caught me on camera shoplifting a Reese's bar, so I go down 2 blocks, and the police come to me and they arrest me. So let's say, for example, that the police that made an arrest on me put a knee on my neck for 2 minutes, where I couldn't breathe for 2 minutes, but I was still living. When I go to court, the judge should just automatically say, hey, Dan, you my friend have every right to be set free because the police that arrested you did not follow due process when making an arrest. Therefore, this misdemeanor crime should be dismissed and you're free to go. What do you think about that, Joe? What's your opinion?
I still think that America needs justice, but not but there's always going to be crooks in every business, like in the movie industry, like because and I'm not on board with defunded police, but I want police, and that's why each day I continue to pray that people will have their hearts and minds changed by the power and grace of God, and they could see to Jesus, and Jesus does his amazing work in them to change them from on the inside, because throughout American history, America is a Judeo-Christian nation, but there's some people in America that wants to destroy the way America was formed, and yeah, that's with Black Lives Matter, but here's the thing: there's so many famous African Americans throughout American history that made good changes to America. You got Douglas. You got some big. You got giant nomads, family, giant nomads, history of famous African Americans that lived in this nation and made a made powerful changes. Sort of like there's so many great Hispanic Americans and Asian Americans, biracial Americans and Caucasian Americans throughout American history that give them that put of their blood, sweat, and tears into this nation to make a difference. It's but my prayer is it's for all for all Americans to and politicians and these Marxists, the social, let's all Americans. I mean all Americans. I'm asking all Americans to to
I don't want
to
to.
come to God, ask God to forgive them from all of their sins and ask for repentance.
Does it look grandma-ish
It
to
be
me,
changed by
and
the power of
I'm not a
His
grandma.
grace and His love and
I'm
mercy.
not old.
See, because these riots and all of this defund the police nonsense needs to stop. We need law enforcement. That's my message.
Yeah, I mean, all that is good. However, our political section of the podcast is now to a closing. Now we will go into the medical part of our podcast. I want to say, wait, hold up. And then as soon as we get into science, he's going to speak about stink bugs. So the medical part I want to address is essential oils have been proven to help with stress and anxiety and have positive effects on the body. Some can even heal certain conditions and ease the disease via dis-ease. Essential oils get inhaled and it, what did that say?
Yeah.
And interacts in the respiratory system. They're effective in mental health because they interact with the limbic system, which triggers powerful emotions that also triggers happy memories. This has an indirect effect on the body in a way where it creates a subconscious placebo to in turn help and heal and mend certain health conditions. So when it comes down to essential oils, I encourage all of you that are watching to get into essential oils because they can work wonders in your life. If you're suffering from stress or anxiety or depression, I suggest you go to Young Living or some essential place that sells essential oils and get yourself a set of them. They can really work wonders and to those of you who do not know the placebo effect, they always say mind over matter, but do you know why they say mind over matter? The mind is more powerful than the body because the mind can alter how your body reacts to certain chemicals. It can react. It can even. That's why a lot of these people with COVID-19 are asymptomatic, is because of the placebo effect. It's because they might be sick with COVID-19, but the mind says, "Hey, we're not going to react to it," so then the body has to follow suit. The only symptom that anyone would ever have that's asymptomatic is they have lower oxygen levels in their blood. Which is another thing I got to get to is basically a placebo effect can also be when you take you can take a sugar pill, for example, and the person who tells you they can tell you let's say they could tell you it's a pill, it's an allergy pill, but really it's just a sugar pill, like a Smartie or something. So you take the Smartie, and what it does is it eases the symptoms of an allergic reaction due to pollen or dandruff, and it's not because the sugar pill has any chemicals that ease those symptoms. It's because the mind is tricking your body into thinking that and you're tricking the mind actually is tricked into thinking that the body is not reacting to anything. So the mind can either be your worst enemy or a very powerful ally. For me, my mind is a very powerful ally. And I'm a very healthy person. I have never gotten sick in years. Well, I haven't been sick in so long. I can't even remember the last time I've even gotten sick, and that's all because my mind is made that all possible. What do you think about that, Joe?
Again, I do. Well, people go through a lot of stress, but it's, and I think that the only way for people to overcome the stress and the fears and anxieties would be turn to God. And again, it hurts you, hurts for viewers. Some of you may hate me because I'm a Christian man, but you know, us Christians are followers of Jesus. It's so as Jewish, but I believe that the power of prayer, the power of of grace and love and mercy from Jesus Christ, the the living Son of God, name above all names, and King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and good and Creator of everything. He's the only answer to everything. It's the answer for true peace. It's the answer for true love. The answer for for true justice and true freedom. That's that's and to and and because without Jesus, that we will suffer. We will go through so much pain, so much fear, so much uh, depression, anxiety, and sadness. Because with Jesus, He wants to bring to true peace, true love, and true unity, and true justice, and true freedom, and true salvation.
John 3:16. For God so loved the world, He gave His only begotten Son, so that we cannot perish but have everlasting life.
Yep. And that's why when I get come on onto these broadcasts, that's like right now. There's so much division going on in America right now with all of this. It's like we mentioned earlier. I pray that God will change the hearts and minds of all Americans by the power of His grace and love and mercy. Let's see, let's see, and let's see, it bring a end to all of this division and these riots and lootings that are going on around the country.
Hmm. I totally agree. I mean, honestly, darkness is a very scary thing when it comes right down to it. Um, I believe that when Satan is taking control, the devil is taking control of Earth slowly, and it's like the light starts to fade away, when in the rapture the light would be totally faded away, but when God comes down to earth, all that darkness would be lighted up instantly.
Yep.
And it's a very scary thing when it comes right down to it, because I heard from another verse in the Bible that Jesus will come onto earth like a thief in the night.
And some and on Judgment Day, Jesus will judge the hearts and minds of every human being.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's Satan. Yeah, because if people to follow God and committed to follow God, they would be not accept Him as the Lord and Savior. They will go to heaven. But if they reject God, they will be sentenced to hell for their sins, and they rejected good God. Not, not in Judgment Day will be the last battle between good and evil on this earth too.
Yup. So, one more thing I want to speak about is, have you ever wanted to earn crypto? What?
He has not got to talk yet.
You talk.
Stink bugs. They come out the stink bugs in China, Japan, Korea. They live 8 months. Don't get the facts about them. Stink bugs are fairly, I think it's fairly, now to North America. I want them to brown moral. I word. But stink bugs don't bite. 3 stink bugs have very few. I don't know.
Let me see.
This work. This work.
Natural.
Natural products. I get rid of. Okay. 4 stink bugs can emit world. Oh. What's this for?
Let me see. Multiply.
Multiply scalps or words. 5 stink bugs are not since breathing inside your home. Stink bugs are most what is it for? Right here.
Let me see.
This one.
Promenade B.
Okay. Probably in your home
Probably.
during fall. Last one stink bugs. It's a long word.
Population.
Population plant by year, the years. That's what's on here.
That's all that's on there? So, I mean, I think stink bugs are a good part of the ecosystem. They bad thing about them is that when they get into your home is going to smell really bad when you kill them. I guess that's why they have very few natural predators, is because of how bad they smell when you kill them. So, and I bet that bad smell is probably produced by some sort of liquid. So It's probably their natural defense mechanism against predators. And since they smell bad, they must also taste bad too. Predators don't want any part of that, do they? They don't. So anyway, our next topic is, so have you ever wanted to make an online profit of cryptocurrency? Well, Cloud Earning PHT can get you that. Cloud mines cryptocurrency called Phoneum, it is PHT is easy to mine with an app, and it has in-app purchases. I've yet to test its full range of its full abilities, and I've yet to withdraw. It says it takes up to 36 hours to withdraw. It has a minimum withdrawal of 20,000 PHT. The VIP pack is $29.99, and to be honest, it is worth it to make it a side hustle.
We need to
Okay. But anyway, Phoneum is a really nice cryptocurrency. I really encourage you to get Cloud Earning PHT. And for those of you who do not know what cryptocurrency is, it is an alternate form of currency which you can buy with US dollars or euros or pounds, or whatever country or province you hail from. So I'm going to leave you with that knowledge and see you until next time. Bye-bye.
And continued to pray because Jesus is the only one for us to would be the only one for us to make it through all of it.
Jesus loves you, remember that. Jesus loves us all, no matter what creed, no matter what color, no matter what religion. Even if you turned against him, he still loves you. So pray to him. I encourage you to do that.
We all do.
Darn it.
That